You're listening to Positive Vibes with Shane Nikolic, making positivity and gratitude louder in a podcast world. Positive Vibes with Shane Nikolic. Okay, well, that's recording, so we're all good.
All right.
Yeah,
cool.
and so I just want to say it's very, very good to have you in the studio and
Thanks,
on
man.
my show.
Yeah, thanks, man. It's a great pleasure to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was trying to remember because it's like I've said on my social media post. We've been lifelong friends.
Yeah.
And I was trying to recall, but ninth grade was the earliest I can remember.
Yeah. Right on.
Yeah,
Cool.
that was about the time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because I had moved away from Enumclaw
Right.
and then come back.
Yep.
Yeah. And we were in school together. And,
Yep.
there at Enumclaw High School, and even rode the bus together.
Yeah.
Yeah. To and from school.
Yeah, and then Tina Stenson's was one of my best friends, and you're related to her. And,
Yeah.
all that stuff. So a lot of close connections.
Yeah, definitely.
So.
Well, yeah, Enumclaw. It's not that.
Right.
It seems to be growing now, but it wasn't that big of a town then.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's still not that big.
Right. Yeah, there was only a couple hundred people in our class, I think.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Sort of got that real small town vibe where everyone knows everyone.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. And I just wanted to. It seems as though I could be wrong, and as you've stated before, I'm probably wrong. But it seems to me I always thought that you were in my art class there at Enumclaw High School.
That could be, yeah. My biggest memory of our interaction in Enumclaw was it was like an AA group at the high school, like in the counseling room or something like that. I remember that was like that was like the first like real big impact that you had on me. I remember listening to we were sitting around this room, and I just went to the counselor. There was like some sign that said something about like drug education, and I was doing drugs, and I was like, I want to learn more about what I'm doing. Like I wanted to learn more about the drugs I was taking, so I thought it would like educate me. And so that was kind of like my first interaction was and I remember hearing your story, sitting there hearing your story and going, oh man, like I got a lot in common with this guy, whoa, this guy's as wild as me, so. Actually, I don't remember going to I didn't get sober until I started at Collins High School. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So it must have been someone else. Or maybe that was maybe it was just a AA meeting or something like that. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. Memory like high school. It's so long ago, but I just remember hearing your story at like a younger age and going, whoa, this, kind of having like this, like, oh, I really identify with this guy. You know? Yeah. Well, yeah, that's crazy because back when I was going to Enumclaw High School, I was deep in the throes, Yeah. I was always drinking and doing drugs. Right. Yeah. Yeah. And totally. Yeah. It's like, back when I was at Enumclaw High School, I was the schoolboy from hell. Right. Yep. Yeah. But crazy days indeed. Right. Yeah. Kind of a legend, really.
Yeah, it's like sort of sad, don't want to go down as a legend like that, but
right. Yeah.
it is what it is. And
well, you become another legend in your own way, like, in different ways and more positive ways now,
Yeah, it's like, just instead of always, bringing down everything with the negative vibe.
Right.
Now it's like lifting everything up and lifting up other people with positive vibes.
Right.
Hence my show, Positive Vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And whoops. I almost removed one of the cameras there. That wouldn't have been good.
Oh.
I was just wanting to we're apart, distant there for a few years, weren't in contact or anything.
Right.
What happened after high school?
Let's see, where did my road go? Well, like, man, that's kind of like when I was like 19, so like right after high school, when I was 18, like right after high school, I moved to Bellingham, and then I kind of had this like 3 months after I moved there, I had a pretty big crisis, like a big life crisis. I had like kind of went through like a depression, kind of got depressed and started drinking a lot, and I locked myself in my apartment for a month and quit my job. This was like in December after I'd started college there in like September, so like a few months of being up there, and I quit my job at Little Caesars Pizza, and I quit for like 3 weeks or something, and my boss called me, and I was like locked in my apartment just drinking myself. And that was like really my first experience with like alcoholism, where I was like, oh shit, I'm an alcoholic. Like, this is what I want to be doing, is like nursing this like deep void with this, with alcohol. And this guy called me and was like, I was like, man, I'm not coming back into work, dude. Like, and he's like, oh, I'm not calling about that. I'm having a party. He's wondering if you want to come. And I was like, oh, okay. And I hadn't been out of the house in a while, and this was about a week before Christmas. And I had like, went to this guy's party, and there was a lot of LSD there. There was somebody from like Miami that was just giving it out for free. It was like, he was like testing his LSD out. And I dropped like 17 hits of acid at that party because I was pretty lit, pretty drunk, and just, it was free, and so I just kept taking it. And anyway, that created a complete like schizophrenic psychosis, and ended up in the mental hospital. And I spent like 6 weeks in a mental hospital, and then after that, it took me a few months to like regulate my brain, and then I started going into like, I went into a rehab, and then I relapsed, and I went into another rehab, Sundown Ranch in Yakima, and I like got sober for like 6 years. So from like age like 19 to 25, I got sober, and went to college, finished school, and so so that's kind of what happened after high school, was like this major crisis right after high school, psychological breakdown crisis, getting my stuff together, and getting sober and spending 6 years getting myself through college. And then I did some world traveling, and then I think I was in Africa where I relapsed again, and then I don't know. I feels easy talking to you about the sobriety stuff because that's one of our biggest connections. Like and so like I relapsed and then spent another 11 years just going pretty hard and trying to manage it, trying to just do a little bit each day, but I'm just a monster addict, alcoholic, and I don't have a inner regulator, and it just got out of control until I went through another psychosis, and then finally I think I went through 3 more psychotic breaks, and then I finally decided to get sober again, and I just couldn't go to the mental hospital anymore. I was done. I was just I got to a point where it was threshold surrender time, I was I have to surrender this. I can't do this anymore. And I gotta change my life. I remember sitting in a golf cart. I was driving a golf cart for my dad. He was golfing. I would want to attempt to golf. I was and it just hit me. I just this moment of clarity kind of hit me. I'd been a month sober at the time, but a moment of clarity hit me where I was I'm done for good. And I just saw I could visualize the rest of my life without drugs and alcohol and all that entails. And I was that's better than what I'm doing, and decided to walk down that road. But it's been a trip.
Right on. Right on. Yeah, I hear you there. It's definitely a trip.
Yeah.
And just so far as the art, were you, you say you were traveling the world.
Yeah.
Were you, in Africa, were you making art all over the world?
Yeah, I was. I've always been making art. So that's been the one consistent thread through my whole life since since early childhood. It's been this consistent thread since my parents said as soon as I was able to pick a crayon up, I was scribbling on the walls in their house, driving them crazy. And I have a lot of memories of that kind of early childhood stuff. But then when I was traveling, you were asking, I wasn't painting murals everywhere, but I was really buying art supplies and making paintings and leaving them places and things like that. So I was kind of peppering the world with my art, but and meeting other travelers and showing them what I do, and then maybe trading them for different things and stuff like that, or just gifting things to people along the way. Someone would let me stay at their place, and I'd just do a painting and leave it there. So there are this string of paintings and art throughout my whole life that I've kind of left a trail of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I do know that for sure. There in Bonnie Lake, we had one of your paintings in the house, and custom Wizard of Oz painting.
Yeah.
And then
doing that one. Yeah.
And then it's you brought up my Aunt Tina Stenson earlier.
Yeah.
And it's I go to her house and I see her paintings all over, and prints all over.
Right.
And it's yep, Ryan's been here.
Yeah.
There's the work of Henry.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And also, it's I don't see any of your murals here in Tacoma.
Yeah.
But I see the murals here, and whenever I do see a mural, it reminds me of walking around Seattle and Bellevue, or in my case, running around. Not Bellevue, but Ballard in Seattle, and seeing your murals all over.
Yeah.
It seems like I'm running my favorite one up there to see your paintings is the Seattle Ox Marathon, because we start up at we start up the hill at Woodland Park.
Yeah.
And run down Stoneway and through Ballard.
Okay.
And it's
cool.
like just the way we go.
Yeah.
It seems as though we pass like, well, you got a lot of them up there, but it seems like we passed 5 or 6 buildings with your murals on the side of the building.
Right. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. That's awesome.
So is it like a goal of yours to paint Seattle or paint Ballard or whatever?
Well, I remember like when I started doing murals, and it was 2008 that I started painting murals, and I'd like painted them like kind of all summer. I'd been painting. I kind of felt like some portal opened up for me, and I was like, murals walls became available for me, and I was painting them. And then finally somebody interviewed me, and during that interview they asked me what my goals were, and at the time I didn't have any. I was a goalless like person as far as my art went, but I just made up a goal on the spot during the interview. I was like, I want to do 50 murals in the city of Seattle, and I don't know how many I did at the time, like a handful, maybe like a dozen or something at the time. And I was like, I want to do 50. And then that got published, and then people were into that. Like people were into the goal. Like everyone was focused. This guy's got a goal and he's going to make this thing happen. And so like TV, like Q13 and King 5, and everyone wanted to know about this goal. This guy's going to do 50 murals in our city, And so I started getting interviewed about the goal more than the art or anything. And I was like, I just made that up, like I just pulled that off the top of my head, and now I have to like kind of live up to it, And so I was the guy with the goal all of a sudden, like, this guy's got goals, It's like, I guess I'm a guy with goals now. And yeah, it's kind of funny how like life gives you things that is a little bit unexpected. And so but that really helped me think about like, okay, I'm going to do 50 murals in this city. And that was like where I wanted to like get to. And I've done hundreds now, but I surpassed that like so long ago. I think I hit 50 murals my second year into it. So like 2000